Messages right there. So we do have two very special speakers who are going to be speaking on behalf of the tour. The first one, I've already got respect for her because she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. That's on the life list. She's done many things. She lives for adventure, pressing the limits. She is an inspiration and making a true difference in the world. I'd ask that you please help me in welcoming Lori Brown.
One thing people always ask me is, why would I devote almost 2 years of my life to this cause? And the main reason is that we really don't want to see people suffer needlessly, and often cancer is a needless suffering. The past few years, I've seen a lot of cancer in my world. Both my parents were diagnosed with cancer in 2008. And through early detection, they're both well, thank God. And in 2009, I started volunteering with a group called Lots of Helping Hands. And this is an amazing organization. My duty with them was to go and sit with cancer patients as they were going through their chemotherapy treatments. Has anybody here been in a chemotherapy room? They're really unbelievably horrible places. You know, I had one client, I guess you could call it, Andrew, and it was his first treatment, and so I'm bringing him in and talking to the nurses and getting him all organized, and he's now lying in his bed, and you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the stuff that's being put into them it can be really difficult, and he went into a big shock, and come the nurses, and just trying to help him through that was really difficult, and then other patients were, you know, might have been their 4th or 5th or 10th treatment, so they were aware about what was going to happen. So it might have been in a general chemo room, which was row upon row upon row of sort of lazy boy chairs and people getting their treatment. And even in that scenario, there's just a lot of fear and a lot of disruption of family and time and resources that go into this disease. And it was suddenly all around me. And I'm sure not the only one. As Dr. T stated, I mean, the stats are that cancer is the #1 cause of premature death in Canada. In the States, depending on which reports you read, it's either #1 or #2. But there's good news. All the big societies, the Canadian and American cancer societies and National Research Institute, they all agree that about 2/3 of all cancers can be prevented by 3 simple things. It's your diet, your exercise, and your vitamin D3 intake, which is kind of random, but it's just been proven. So we're here, you know, to talk about prevention. That's not even talking about environmental toxins, household toxins, and if you are proactive in your early detection strategies, really the stats are between 80 to 95%, depending on which statistic you're reading, are preventable. So we thought, well, let's not do the typical ride or run or hike to raise, you know, more money for research, which is great, and that's how this all started. But we thought, you know what, gosh, if it's preventable, why don't we spread that message and take this as an awareness instead of raising money to find a cure. So really we see we've got 2 huge opportunities. We can spread awareness about the prevention side and also the early detection side. On the prevention, it's, as you talked about, the 12 strategies that we've got up on our website. That's great, but often people don't really take these to heart. I mean, if we want to lose weight, well, we know we'll take in less calories and burn more calories, but do we actually do it? So I see a vision that we actually make health and wellness kind of cool, like, and not being healthy and doing toxic things to your body is becoming kind of socially unacceptable. And we've done it. We did it with drinking driving. I mean, when I was a kid, it was illegal, but people still drank and drove. And now, really, we don't. We get designated drivers. It's become socially unacceptable to do that. Same with smoking. So if we could have this cultural shift, wouldn't that make a difference? I was up skiing at Whistler on Monday, and I looked around, like, everybody wears a helmet now. And it's not even illegal to not, but it's become kind of uncool to just wear a toque. So, gosh, if we could do that with our health, what a shift that would be. The other big opportunity we have is on the early detection side. My husband and his partner, they decided 10 years ago, they said, you know, we really owe it to ourselves and to our families to be proactive in our health. So they created this thing they call the No Surprise Health Program. So they go to the Mayo Clinic every year and they do a full diagnostic. And that first year that they did it, they got colonoscopies. And Ken's partner, David, he had 3 polyps removed. And when they got the results back, 2 of them would have been full-blown cancer within 2 years. So colorectal cancer is the 3rd leading cause of death on the cancer sort of spectrum for men. So he likely wouldn't be around today if they hadn't been proactive in early detection. And you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was down in Phoenix, and I saw David and his wife hiking Camelback with their dogs, and just having, you know, he's having a beautiful life, and that might not have been the case had he not been proactive. The other thing we're going to be doing on the tour is not only spreading this message, but we're also partnering with a couple of different organizations. The one in Canada is called Prevent Cancer Now. Phenomenal organization. They're lobbying to the government to make change. Their message is about awareness and prevention. And in the States, it's called Breast Cancer Fund. And although their message is prevention of breast cancer, but really it does apply to all cancers, and really a great organization. Just in closing, people often ask me, what's my inspiration? And there's a really great quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that says, "There comes a time in every man's life where we have to either choose to live in the light of creative altruism or the darkness of destructive selfishness." It's like, wow, yeah, actually we do. We have to choose. And so I really see this as a personal choice, and I know for a lot of you that are involved, it's a personal choice to live in that light. The other real inspiration is Terry Fox. I mean, I think we're all Canadian, we all know about Terry Fox, and I think, man, there's a kid who, he's got one leg and he's running across the country to make a difference. And, he eventually died, but, if we could even make a fraction of the difference he made, then we're doing something right. And, the last bit of inspiration is Jason. I mean, what a great partner you are. I've watched you from, we met in 2007, and I see the change in you. And the Jason that I met was a different person. I mean, you're literally an example. You're like the poster child for what healthy living and healthy choices, the difference it can make in a life. And so it's just been awesome to work with you on this. And thanks for the idea. I mean, really, this guy, okay, we might have taken the vision and ran with it, but he started it all. I mean, over a beer and hey, let's do this great ride and raise funds. And then it sort of morphed into what it is today. But thanks, Jason.